He knows that we will fill our schedules all the way to overflowing. He knows that we have a million details, a million relationships, a million circumstances, a million duties and responsibilities. He knows all that, and that's part of why He gave us the Sabbath. No work. It's an interruption of the work week. It's actually, the Catechism says, it is a protest against the enslavement to money. I find that an interesting thought. It's a protest. To give God your Sabbath day and to fully rest on that day is to protest against the slavery of money. I love that. The Catechism also tells us that the Sabbath day or Sunday is the kernel of the whole liturgical year. So that the whole liturgical year is actually centered on Sunday. There are 7 days and then 7 weeks and 7 months. The Old Testament feasts all actually centered around the idea of Sabbaths. And so they were constantly resting. They were worshiping and resting. Now here's the other principle. We talked about the order of priorities, and most of us, if we have a relationship with God, if we take it seriously, then we would say God is our top priority, and then work, and then family, and then rest. But that's actually backward. If you look at the way the Ten Commandments are ordered and the priority that is given to their order, we see that God and Sabbath are at the top. Worship and rest. Worshiping and resting on the Sabbath day, that's a whole. You don't worship properly unless you've rested, and you haven't rested properly unless you worship. You can't separate those two without doing damage to the commandment, because the whole point of Sabbath was to rest and to worship. And so we remember that Sabbath day, the scriptures say, in order to keep it holy, which means just to set it apart. And in so doing, we're supposed to remember creation. We remember how we have co-created with God in the week past and what God might want to create with us in the next week. And so we go to Mass, we worship, we receive the Eucharist, all that worship entails, and we rest on that day. That's a literal physical rest. And that was provided for us through the Ten Commandments, which makes it part of natural law. We break that natural law to our own detriment.